Welcome to True Tales of USA. Real stories from real lives. Crime, mystery, struggle, and success. Every short tells a true story you won't forget. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel. For the retired teacher and the freeloading son. Margaret Thompson had spent 40 years teaching high school, English in the same small town. Her classroom had been a place of order, books neatly shelved, lessons planned to the minute, and every student held to the same quiet standard of respect. When she retired at 68, she looked forward to the same order in her little brick house on Maple Street, the one she and her late husband had paid off with careful saving and extra summer classes. Her son Justin was 35, recently divorced, and between jobs. He arrived one rainy Friday with 2 duffels, his golden retriever and his new girlfriend, Kayla. Just for a few weeks, Mom, he promised, hugging her tightly. Until I get back on my feet. Margaret, who still saw the earnest boy who once begged for help with his spelling words, opened the door wide. Weeks became months, then years. Justin slept until noon, played video games in the living room she had once used for reading, and left dishes piled in the sink. Kayla worked part-time at a coffee shop but spent most evenings scrolling on her phone while the dog chewed Margaret's slippers. The grocery bill tripled. The utility bill doubled. Margaret's pension and small savings account quietly shrank as she covered everything. Temporarily, she tried gentle hints. "Justin, have you heard back from that warehouse job?" He'd smile, say he was waiting for something better, and ask if she could spot him $50 for gas. When she suggested they contribute to rent, Kayla laughed. "We're family. Family helps each other." Margaret retreated to her bedroom earlier each night, closing the door against the noise of their television. The breaking point came on a quiet Tuesday. Margaret was in the kitchen making tea when Justin walked in holding papers he'd printed from her computer. "Mom, I found this reverse mortgage thing online. If you sign the house over to me now, the bank gives you monthly payments, and I'll take care of everything. It's perfect. You won't have to worry about maintenance, and when you pass, it's already mine. No probate hassle." Margaret stared at the papers. The heading read, "Quitclaim Deed." She recognized the form. She'd helped enough former students navigate legal documents over the years. Her hand tightened around her teacup. "You want me to sign my house over to you while I'm still living in it?" Justin shrugged. "It's an investment, Mom. Property values are rising. I'll buy you something nicer later. A condo, maybe. Trust me." Morning. Clara listened without interruption. "Mrs. Thompson, you do not have to sign anything you don't want to. The house is yours free and clear. If they're living there rent-free for years, the law sees them as tenants at will. You can end that any time." She paused. "Do you want them out?" Margaret's voice was steady. "Yes, I want my house back." Clara prepared a formal 30-day notice to quit. A process server delivered it while Margaret stayed at a quiet downtown hotel she booked with her own credit card. Justin called 17 times that first day. She let it ring. On the 3rd day, he texted, "You're being selfish. This is my childhood home, too." She did not reply. When the 30 days ended, Margaret returned with Clara and a locksmith. Justin and Kayla had packed most of their belongings, but the house smelled of old pizza and dog. Justin stood in the living room, arms crossed. "You're really doing this? Kicking out your own son?" "I'm asking 2 adults who refuse to contribute or respect my home to leave," Margaret corrected quietly. "You have until 5 p.m. The sheriff will enforce it tomorrow if needed." Kayla cried. Justin shouted. Margaret waited in silence until they loaded the last box into their borrowed truck and drove away. The next week, she had the carpets cleaned, the walls repainted a soft cream, and the locks changed. She moved her favorite armchair back to the sunny corner by the window and arranged her books exactly as she liked them. On the first Saturday of her reclaimed quiet, she invited 3 retired colleagues over for tea. They sat in the living room talking about poetry and gardening. No television blared. No one asked her for money. Word spread. Soon, other widows and retirees began stopping by on Wednesday afternoons. Margaret served lemon cake and answered questions about wills, reverse mortgages, and tenant rights. She kept Clara's business cards in a neat stack on the coffee table. One evening, Justin called. His voice was smaller. "Mom, things didn't work out with Kayla. Can I come home for a bit?" Margaret paused, listening to the silence of her own house. "You're always welcome to visit for dinner," she said. "But this is my home. If you need a place to stay, I'll help you find an apartment and pay the first month's rent. After that, you're on your own." He didn't accept the offer. But 6 months later, a postcard arrived from a town 2 hours away. Justin had a warehouse job and shared an apartment with a coworker. "Thanks for the tough love, Mom," he'd written. "I get it now." Margaret placed the postcard on her mantel, next to a framed photo of her old classroom. Then she sat in her armchair, opened a new novel, and turned the page at her own pace. The house was quiet, orderly, and entirely hers once more. That evening, Margaret sat alone in her bedroom and opened the bottom drawer of her dresser. Inside was a blue folder containing the original deed, the paid-off mortgage papers, and her husband's old address book. She found the number she needed. Clara Hensley, a former student who had become a respected estate attorney. She called the next